मीठी बोलियां मीठी बोलियां मीठी बोलियां मीठी मीठी बोलियां मीठी बोलियां मीठी बोलियां. Meethi Boliyaan, an Indo-Pak storytelling festival. Hello everybody, I'm Shubha, and today I'm happy to be here to present a story for all of you. The story I have for you is about a bird that has been celebrated and admired in our Indian culture for a very, very long time. The earliest mention of this bird was in the Rig Vedas. It has always been considered as a symbol of love and wisdom. The interesting fact about this bird is that it has also been considered as a master storyteller, because around the 12th century CE, there has been a collection of stories written in Sanskrit titled Sukasaptati, which simply means 70 Tales of the Parrot. Yes, you're right. The story I have for you all today is about a parrot. It is my adaptation and fusion of the narrative of Sukasaptati and an Indian folk tale. I hope you all enjoy this. Several sunrises ago, there lived a rich trader named Madana Vinoda. He was known to be hardworking and determined. But that wasn't the case always. For as a child, he was overtly pampered by his parents. Every wish and every demand of his was fulfilled without a second thought. He had a group of caretakers all around him all day to do every single task of his. Every little mischief of his was laughed away, like considering it as a child's play. But as he grew older, the mischiefs got graver. And since he had somebody or the other around him to do all his tasks, he got lazier and lazier by the day. And then he finally grew into a young man who had no goal in particular other than sleeping or splurging away his father's money. Now this got his father very worried, for he was also a very well-known and a successful trader. After trying several ways of correcting Madana, the trader gave up and tried his last resort. That was to write to his friend, who was yet another wise trader. On receiving the letter from Madana's father, the trader immediately set out to Madana's house. As being the tradition at that time, he came home with a lot of gifts for everybody. And the gift that Madana got was a pet parrot. Madana was very excited to see his parrot pet, for he had never had a pet before. He immediately called for the goldsmith and asked him to make a very special cage of gold for the parrot. The goldsmith drew up a nice, beautiful design of the cage, and in 2 days' time, a new cage was presented in front of Madana. Madana was delighted looking at the cage, and he slowly and carefully moved the parrot into the new golden cage. He named the parrot as Tiki. Now Tiki was a very chirpy and cheerful parrot. It kept chirping and talking all day long, mimicking voices of everybody in the house and making funny sounds. Now this really caught the attention of Madana. He began spending more and more time with Tiki, listening to her speak, listening to her stories of adventures while she was a free bird in the mountains and the Himalayas. Day after day, he started spending more time with her. And soon, Tiki started running out of stories. And Madana began to get bored of Tiki's stories. One day, as Madana sat with Tiki, a caretaker came to him and told him about a wise old man who had come to the village with a treasure chest of stories. Now Madana, who had taken a special liking to stories because of Tiki, was really excited because he was looking for newer and fresher stories to listen to. So he decided to go and meet this wise old man and listen to stories from him. That evening he got ready and he went to the big banyan tree under which sat the wise old man with an entire treasure chest of stories. That evening just flew past, and Madana didn't realize the time go as he sat there listening to stories after stories. 1 day passed, 2 days passed, 3, 4, 5, and many such days passed, and Madana continued to visit the wise old man to listen to stories. Stories of wisdom, stories of valor, stories of love, of friendship. Madana was completely enthralled by the stories told by the wise old man. Because of which, he started spending lesser time with Tiki. Now Tiki knew that her job was done and it was time for her to fly out. But she also knew that Madana was not going to let her go so easily, and so she had to devise a plan. One day, as Madana was leaving to listen to his daily dose of stories, Tiki stopped Madana and asked him, "Madana, where are you going?" Madana said, "Oh, I'm going to the old wise man who has a treasure chest of stories." "Oh, I see. Looks like he's very interesting, and that is why you have been spending lesser time with me." Madana said, "Oh yes, he definitely is very interesting. He has an answer to all my questions and he has a story for each of it." "That is indeed interesting," said Tiki. "So could you please do me a favor and can you please ask your wise old man for an answer to my question?" Madana was surprised. He said, "A question? Oh, sure, why not? Tell me, what is your question?" And Tiki said, "Please go ask your wise man as to when am I going to get my freedom." Madana didn't see through Tiki's plan. He said, "Sure, I shall definitely ask the wise man for this." And he went off to listen to his stories for the day. That evening, after listening to the stories, Madana walked up to the wise man and presented to him the story that Tiki had asked. The wise man sat thinking of the question for a while. And as he sat thinking, he just fell unconscious. Madana was scared. He tried to wake up the wise man. He shook him. He sprinkled some water on him. But the wise man didn't wake up. Madana got scared and he ran back home, just in case somebody would catch him and hold him responsible for this. He reached home huffing and panting, trying to gasp some breath. Looking Madana panting and gasping for breath, Tiki asked him, "Hey Madana, what happened? Why are you panting? Why did you come running home?" And Madana said, "Oh, you won't believe what happened. I just asked the wise old man your question. And as he sat thinking for an answer, he just fell unconscious. I tried to wake him up, but he just wouldn't wake. And I got really scared, and so I came home running." Tiki thought about it for a while and said, "It's okay, don't worry, he's gonna be fine. I think you should get some sleep now." And Madana went off to his room and had a good night's sleep. The next morning, when Madana woke up and came to Tiki's cage, he saw that Tiki was lying unconscious in her cage. Madana was really upset. He didn't know what had happened to Tiki. So he walked up to the cage and he slowly opened the door of the cage. And the moment he opened the door of the cage, Tiki got up and flew away into the open skies. Madana was shocked. He wasn't prepared for this. It was too much of a shock for him. He was unable to come to terms with it. He was very upset. The whole day he didn't even have his meals. That evening when he went to the wise old man, the look on his face told the wise old man that there was something wrong with Madana. So he called Madana closer and asked him, "What happened, young man? Why do you look so upset today?" And Madana said, "Oh, you're not going to believe this. I woke up this morning and I saw Tiki lying unconscious in her cage. I opened the cage and she just flew out of the cage and she's gone. I was really fond of her and I'm not able to come in terms to this loss." The old wise man sat listening to Madana for a while and he just smiled and he said, "Dear man, you have been coming to me for a long time now, but looks like there's a lot more that you need to learn. The little bird who has never come to me was able to understand my hint and grabbed the opportunity and took the first step to freedom. That is life, my dear, because life presents to you opportunities in forms of hints. It's up to us to understand those hints and grab the opportunity and make the best of it." And that was the turning point for Madana Vinoda. And since then, he didn't leave any stone unturned to work hard and to earn the name that he had today. A rich, hardworking, and determined trader. I hope you all enjoyed this story. If you did, please do come back for more stories, for we have a line of wonderful storytellers from both countries until the 21st. And on 21st, 22nd and 23rd, don't forget to tune in to our festival where all our storytellers are going to present to you some wonderful, wonderful stories. So stay tuned to Meethi, Boliyaan.